Yeah, real estate for me was really a journey of just wanting to live for free. I think like a lot of people out there, we want to reduce our expenses. For me, it was just really simple. I think a similar story to a lot of people have is just I got into real estate because I didn't want to rent and I wanted to put that money somehow back in my pocket.
Kill Complacency, a podcast that inspires growth and intentionality and helps you overcome your greatest obstacles.
I'm excited for you guys to listen to this podcast with Sam Wegert. Not exactly your typical podcast on killing complacency, other than we talk a lot about real estate and how real estate can give you financial freedom. So kill the complacency, listen to the podcast, and learn about co-living by Sam and what it can do for you financially. Hey, today's guest is Sam Wegert. Is that how you say it? Wegert?
Yeah, Wegert. Mm-hmm.
And to me, he is the king of co-living. Didn't know about him a couple months ago, but Brandon Turner kind of blew him up. And but I'm wondering, Sam, if you can take me back. I mean, we all know you as a co-living king, but take me back to your first deal. How did you get started in real estate? Why real estate? And how hard was that first one?
Yeah, man. Well, first, I'll say thanks for letting me be on. I'm super excited to just chat with you and love everything you're about. And I think your hat says it all. Your hat says it all. You're big into action, and I'm honored to be on, brother. Thanks for having me. Yeah, real estate for me was really a journey of just wanting to live for free. I think like a lot of people out there, we want to reduce our expenses because, we want to push back on this lifestyle creep game. And so for me, it was just really simple. I think a similar story to a lot of people have is just I got into real estate because I didn't want to rent and I wanted to put that money somehow back in my pocket. And so I bought this I remember it was actually an interesting story because I looked at this place. I finally hired a realtor. She was my friend. And I said, find me like a condo real cheap. I'd saved up like 60 grand. Like I was a good saver. And I had a good job. I was running martial arts schools at the time and I was making good money. I was making like actually really good money for me at the time. I was very young. I was probably 19, 20 and I'd saved up this little nest egg just from being conservative. And my realtor brought me to this 3-bedroom, 3-bath condo that was a foreclosure in my town in Charlottesville, Virginia, where the University of Virginia is. And I remember walking through it and there was junk piled all the way up to the ceiling. Like it was like a hoarder house, like a mini hoarder house, which by the way, I just started watching that show Hoarders. It's a crazy show. If you've never watched it, my wife and I, but there's like this little like walkway just to get through is all you could see. And I remember getting in there feeling shocked at this and telling my realtor, like, there's no way I'd buy this. Like, even though it was a good deal. So we looked at other properties, nothing really hit. And then she takes me back to this property and the owner evidently had like kicked that tenant out and cleaned it up a little bit. And I literally did not even recognize it. I was like, Donna was my realtor's name. I was like, did we look at this? She's like, yeah, I showed this to you a while back. I was like, does it look different? She's like, yeah, all the stuff's gone. I was like, holy cow, this is different. So we ended up buying that. And I lived in one of the bedrooms and there was 2 other bedrooms and 2 other bathrooms and I rented it out. I paid cash for it. I don't even know if I could have gotten a loan at that time, but I ended up paying like all the cash I had. I put in this little place. And it was, I made a little because I didn't have a mortgage payment. By the time I paid the HOA, I made like 300. What was it? Because I rented each room out for like $450. So I was making $900, but the HOA was like $500. So yeah, so I made probably like $400 and I lived for free. And from going from an apartment that I was paying $500 or $600 a month for, that's a net of about $900, $800, whatever. My math is correct. So it was a really, really, really good deal for me. And I didn't really think of
what did it cost? If you don't mind me asking.
$67,000.
$67,000.
Yeah.
And you made it a 4-bedroom?
No, there was no extra room to make any additional rooms. It was just three. Yeah. Yeah.
What was rent a month?
So on that, I think rent was like $450 or $500 per room at the time. This is back in 2011. Yeah.
That's cool.
And my HOA was like $450. So the HOA took up one room of rent.
I gotcha.
Yeah. But the HOA included like internet and water and sewer and trash. Like it was a pretty hefty, beefy HOA. I think it included like everything but electricity, basically. And it was really unique. Each room like had a desk built in and an ensuite bath. So like it was designed kind of for this college kid feel. It was perfect for what I wanted to do. Now, I didn't think anything of it. I wasn't thinking that this was like some great strategy to make thousands of dollars per month. I didn't think of that. I was just like, oh, I'm living for free. And I didn't, even at then, real estate was not an investment strategy for me. It was just a hack. I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina for business work reasons for my martial arts schools. I bought this other house because, again, it was the right, quote unquote, the right thing to do. I didn't want to put money out in rent. And it was that house that really things like clicked for the investment side of things. And here's what happened. I had this guy. He was my only friend at the time because I just picked up, put stuff in my Acura TL and moved down to go buy these 2 martial arts schools. Just left my family, left everything I knew, which if anybody's ever done that.
How old are you at this point, Sam?
I was probably 21.
Okay.
Yeah. And like, I never thought of myself as like a mama's boy or a daddy's boy or any of that. I just like, or even my family. I was like, but man, leaving my family, I was like, Marty, you and I have this in common. You got 10 brothers and sisters. I got 8 homeschooled. They were my only friends growing up. I didn't go to school. Yeah. So like moving away from them was an emotional experience, man. It was like, and you know, I'm a go-getter. So I just packed up the car, whatever my Acura could hold. I packed it up, moved from Charlottesville to Charlotte. It was like 6 hours away, 5.5 hours away. And anyway, built this martial arts, did it for the martial arts business that I was in at the time. But I had this one friend and he worked for SunTrust and he was making, don't quote me in the exact, I think he was making like 150, 200 grand a year. This guy was a whiz with numbers. His name is Jason. I love this guy to death. He's still a friend to this day. Whiz with numbers. And one day we would go for runs. We would work out together. And he says, hey, I know you're renting your house by the room. This is the house I bought in Charlotte.
Yeah.
He goes, how many roommates do you have? I'm like, I got 4, me and 3 others. He's like, great. Well, if you count yourself as a renter, how much are you making from that house? And I'm like, well, like $2,850 if I counted myself as a renter, between the other 3 and then me.
Yeah.
And he's like, wow, man. He's like, that house would only normally rent for like $1,300 on the open market. So, and it was just like the way he said it or the fact that it kind of impressed him. I think I was like, wait, I'm doubling the rent with this little strat. And I only had 4 people in there. So I go on this crazy rant. I'm like, well, man, I just found out that I could buy these homes as primary residences once every year for 3.5% down to 5% down. So I just went on this little rant of like every year buying a house. And then I was like, could I do 5? I mean, it works for 5. And then, of course, there's problems. I fix those problems through systems. I'm like, could I do 6? Of course, there's problems. Fix those problems through systems. Could I do 7? Could I do 8? Could I do 9? Could I do 10? Could I do 11? And I mean, just before you pushed play, I showed you a 22-bedroom duplex that we're building. Like, it's, this is harder to do than just what there's a lot that goes into it to make it like a fun, clean, safe, affordable place for people to live. But it's possible to do larger homes. And for me, I didn't think it was weird for all these people to live in a home and do this co-living thing because I grew up with 8 siblings. Our house was 1,900 square feet. Like, to me, 8 kids, 2 parents, that's 10 people, 3 bedrooms. We all made it work. Like,
boy room, girl room, and mom and dad room.
Exactly. That's exactly how we did it too. It's a bunk bed, trundle. Like, we had it all figured out, So that's kind of the story of how I launched this co-living thing. And then I realized it was actually cash flowing really well. And Robert Kiyosaki came along and said, Sam, I believe this is the way. I met him at an event and I was like pitching him on this concept. And he was like, no, like, you're not doing something weird that you should run away from. You should go all in on this. This is literally the wave of the future. And he literally said, it's the wave of the future. And I just remember being like, all right, Robert Kiyosaki says it's the wave of the future. Like, I'm going all in.
When did you first read his book?
Probably, I don't remember exactly, but probably right around the time I bought that first property.
Okay.
So that's like the common story, the cliche thing, right? I read this book and I started buying real estate.
Yeah.
But it's so true, man. That guy is such a legend, such a legend.
So you feel kind of like you've kind of stumbled on it. Like it was more out of necessity. You wanted to buy something. You were tight. You were cheap. And you said, how can I get this for free?
Yeah.
And then your friend, Jason, kind of brings it to awareness that like you're killing it.
Yeah. This could scale. Now, Jason has a big 401k. I build up to like 5, 6, 7, 8 homes. Jason comes to me one day and says, "Hey, I quit my job." I'm like, "Dude, what? You quit your job?" Like, he had a good job, right? He would even let me and my team use his like conference room at SunTrust. He had this like conference room that was like super cool, had this great view. I was like, "Wait, what about the conference room?" He's like, "No, dude, I'm done." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "Wait, what are you going to do?" He goes, "I'm going all in on co-living." And then I got pissed. I was like, "Wait, you're going to be my competition?" I was like so upset. But that was me being very small-minded, a very small-minded thinker. But he's like, "Yeah, I cashed out my 401k. I'm buying, like, I've seen what you've done. I'm doing it. And like, we're going to crush it." And dude, this guy, and to this day, he runs a very successful co-living company. That's all he does. He's doing his thing. And he gets to be an entrepreneur and quit his big W-2, his big 6-figure W-2 that I know millions of other people would love to do. And co-living was his vehicle out.
And he's stayed with co-living.
He did. He's still co-living today. Yeah.
You and him still talk? Over the years, I have been coached by countless mentors, and now I want to offer that to you as well. How? By Marty Hofmann's Life Coaching. This will be a 6-week program in which I will guarantee you will develop a more growth mindset. We will set goals and learn about the importance of the processes and habits behind those goals. I will also help you see your story differently as things happening for you, not to you. We will also be discussing your future self and give you clarity on who that is and what it looks like. For more information, please follow the link below or hop on martyhoffman.com and follow the coaching link.
Yeah, we're a little falling out for a variety of reasons, but we do. We had lunch not too long ago. I love the guy to death, is the truth. Yeah. Yeah, and he runs a good company. We'll shoot people every once in a while. He'll have someone that, isn't a good fit, and we'll send people over to him. We're, very amicable.
I would imagine you guys could really help each other if you guys could. I mean, you guys could be a big asset to each other in many ways with.
Yeah.
Or you could sabotage each other. Hey, I got someone for you.
No, we've he's helped us a lot, man. He texted me not too long ago. Was like, "How are you getting most of your leads?" And he's still getting a lot of his leads from Craigslist. We're using Facebook Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace algorithms right now are real. Like, you're not allowed to post from a business page to Facebook Marketplace. So we've had to like hack that through using personal profiles, like other people's personal profiles. So I was telling him about that. So yeah, there's a lot of synergy, even in just like, well, what locks are you using now? Like the same locks we used to use are not the locks we should be using now. Like it's like there's updated and they're Wi-Fi enabled now. And like, so yeah, there's a lot of synergy in the community, man. And he's a part of it for sure.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
So I know you not only invest in it, but you also teach it. And specifically, I mean, you're wanting a more competition, but you're really wanting more people to have financial freedom, right?
Yeah. I believe it's the fastest way I believe for the average person to get into real estate, I believe it's the fastest way to get out of the rat race. I believe it's the fastest way to financial freedom right now if it's done correctly in the marketplace today. Now, you could argue that, maybe Airbnbs could have a similar cash flow if you buy them correctly, but Airbnbs are going to take a lot more upfront cash. You got to fully furnish those Airbnbs. You kind of got to go 5-star. Bookings are down. There's a little rumbling in that market. Regulations are up. There's a lot of forces kind of working against you crushing it in Airbnb right now. Co-living is completely the opposite, man. It's like things are, the highway is starting to open for you to rocket towards that.
Sure.
Yeah.
As far as furnishing, Sam, what do you guys do? Has that changed over the years? Do you guys do beds? Obviously you would do appliances. You don't have any living rooms, right?
We do have living rooms. Actually, that's one of the main differences between us and say some of these tech companies that are getting in the space and trying to really, one of the big differences is like, I lived in these co-living homes for 13 and a half years. So as I would buy them, I'd live in them and bring the roommates in. And so I know what it's like to be in a co-living home. And I'm a big advocate of using co-living to help solve social issues. So obviously affordable housing is a social issue, but loneliness is also a social issue that nobody's really talking about right now. And the effects of loneliness on a human being that feels isolated is like, it's the equivalent, and this comes from like the Surgeon General of the United States, like it's the equivalent of smoking like 4 packs of cigarettes a day, like the same things. It's crazy. Like, I don't know how they made that comparison, but I was just citing that for my students recently. So I want community areas in these homes
Okay.
where people can connect. And so that's the area that we furnish. We'll go in and we'll make them great, man. We make them look so cool. Put Edison lights up with a little coffee bar section, little high top tables people can connect. There's a lot of hacks you learn along the way. Like you don't stick TVs in there because you don't want like contention over the noise, or what channel. In one of the homes that I lived in, we had a TV in the common area, and my roommates and I, there was like 4 dudes and me, and then it was like 2 ladies, and dude, it was always like the ladies versus the guys. We'd come in, we want to watch something. They'd come out and be like, shut that off, it's too loud, I'm trying to sleep. Be like 11 o'clock at night. You're like, so anyway, you learn some hacks on how to just not have that happen. But
my son is currently doing a co-living. He bought a house.
Oh yeah,
with his buddy, and they put a TV in the living room. And after we talked last, I told him, hey, you gotta get rid of that. So
yeah, man, that's funny. That's
so
a
good
funny
hack.
Yeah, we don't furnish the bedrooms because I want people. Well, the story I usually tell is like some guy calls me up from Germany when my episode goes live on Bigger Pockets, and he says, "Yo, Sam, this is like you're talking about this is like it's new, but it's not. People have lived like this in Europe and South America and Asia for decades. This is how some of the more poorer countries live." Which on a side note, I just got back from Africa, and I was talking to like the professionals that were serving us in Africa, and I was like, "Hey, like, how much does it cost to rent? What do you rent?" And they all rent rooms, dude. It's crazy. They're like, me and my daughter rent a room. Me and my 2 kids rent 2 rooms. I'm like, anyway, my point is to reinforce what he was saying, but he gave me this phrase that stuck with me. It was so powerful. He said, Sam, I believe, this guy from Germany that called me up to kind of make fun of me initially, but we became friends. He said, the room is the new apartment in Europe. He's like, that's how like millennials think about it, because millennials don't have the money to like go rent a whole apartment or a whole house. He's like, it's just too expensive here. And I remember thinking like, well, that's not where America is yet. Like, we're not there yet.
But we're going there.
But I believe it's the bet I'm making. You know, and anybody listening to this podcast got to, obviously, we all have to make our own decisions, and we want to do what Wayne Gretzky did, right? We want to skate to where the puck is going, not where the puck is. So if you're thinking ahead, if you're a forward thinker at all, you're like, okay, like inflation seems to probably continue, like, you know, incomes aren't keeping up, real estate's continuing to go up. So like, all right, we're going to need more affordable housing options. So that's kind of me. This is my version of skating to where I think it's going. And he said the room is the new apartment. And I thought, if the room's the new apartment, I'm not furnishing this for people.
Sure.
This is their apartment.
Yeah.
Change the light bulbs in the fan out to blue, green, pink, whatever you want. Like, make it your place. So that's kind of what we do right now, and furnish the common areas, and it seems to work pretty well.
That's interesting you bring up inflation and stuff. I ran some numbers recently. I made a chart. I can share this with you later.
Please.
Medium house price 1940, and then I did every 10 years.
Oh,
what do you think? What do you think you could buy a house in 1944?
Any area, or just like?
I just did in America when I Googled it.
Oh, general median house price US-wide kind of thing.
Yep.
Gosh, okay, let me think about this. 1940, so that's 60, 70, 80. That's like 85 years ago. I mean, I'm thinking like my grandparents, like probably they spent like 30 grand, 40 grand.
$2,900.
2,900. Damn, dude.
Rent.
We bought every single house.
Rent was $27. Okay.
Rent?
Yeah, rent cost $27. So it was 1%.
Wow. Okay.
If you fast, and I have it right here, if you fast forward, 1980 medium house price is $47,000.
Wow.
Rent is $243.
Yeah.
So you start to see the difference between rent and medium home price.
Yeah.
2024 medium home price in America is $416. Rent is $1,350.
Yeah.
But I took all this data, I plugged it into ChatGPT,
right.
and I said, based on this data, what will the medium home price be in 2030?
Dang.
2040, 2050. What do you think it is?
In 2030, median home price has to be $1 million.
2030, it's 592. 2040, it's $1 million. But by 2050, and it's all based on a 6.07%.
Yeah.
But what happens is rent goes up at a 4.7%. And so that divide gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
By 2050, and this is my pitch to people on why they should buy real estate, like kill complacency, go out there and get some long-term debt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pay for the thing twice, because by 2050, when it's almost paid off, that medium house you bought is going to be worth $1.9 million. But the crazy thing on it, to your point, is that rent projections is only to be about $4,500. So there's no way you're gonna buy a house when you can rent. But I think that apartments are going to be huge, and co-living is going to be huge because it's what you can afford.
Yeah, see, no way it doesn't take off. Those are crazy stats, man.
Yeah.
Crazy stats.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny, last time you and I talked, the Fed interest rate, you and I both projected they weren't going to drop interest rates as much as they did. I actually lost a bet on that. I had to do like some push-ups or something because yeah, how do you think that's going to affect? I mean, that just pushes prices up, I think, ultimately, if they make looser money standards. I don't know. We could go down that rabbit hole, but it's fascinating to me.
I think prices go up regardless. I think prices go up regardless of who gets elected. I don't think it matters. I don't think it.
Yeah.
I mean, we could get political. I think there's a bigger plan at work, and ultimately God's on the throne, and what's going to be is going to be.
Amen. Hopefully it's out of our hands, and we got to trust.
In the meantime, I'm going to keep playing the game.
Right.
Because based on data, real estate goes up.
Yeah.
And if I can use someone else's money to buy it and someone else's money to pay it off, then
yeah. And what I think about when I see that chart too, something that comes to my mind is like, I mean, one way to look at that data would be to say, okay, appreciation is going to be great, but you will have diminishing returns.
Mm-hmm.
Your returns are going to be less and less based on just long-term rents.
Mm-hmm.
Based on that, because at one point, nobody wants to take a $1.9 million house and rent it for $4,500 unless that money that they bought that house with is just free or cheap, right? Like real cheap, which it probably will be. But I'm always thinking, okay, what can we do? What can we do to get back to the 1% rule?
Mm-hmm.
Airbnb was a strategy for a while that I think was real hot and popular. I think co-living is the new up-and-coming hot and popular way to do that. That also solves a real big need that won't be regulated as heavily because it's needed, not wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Puts housing back on the market. I think I just saw an article, some judge in New York struck down some zoning, but all these cities are trying to rezone for more density.
If you want to wear a billboard of a message of kill complacency or live intentionally, then check out my merch store. It's www.mindsetshop.com. Mindset is with an X, so it's MINDXET shop, SHOP.com. Mindsetshop.com.
Yeah.
Like that's what they're trying to do. Like Charlotte just did it. Charlotte's like all single family lots can now be, duplex, triplexes, quadplexes. Like so we're doing that. We're increasing density, providing an affordable housing without subsidies, without the city having to go and build all this stuff or provide. So it's a very attractive thing for lawmakers too, as long as they really understand it and wrap their head around it. So it needs more advocates right now because it's new. But
I think it'll come because it is new. We hate change, we resistant to that. But people will get used to it and people will buy in. Where I'm at in the Midwest in Oklahoma, like you can do it in big cities, but I'm not big enough.
Yeah.
And so we're dabbling with it and testing the market, and we've got a couple that way. But vacancies are hard on co-living for us. So
it's a whole the person in this game that operates the best is going to win this. Like all operators are struggling to some extent right now because not everybody understands it, and there's like an education piece you have to do. to even people wanting to live in the home. Like, let me educate you on like how awesome this is and how many systems we have in place and how the laundry works and how like all this stuff.
You
it's
have
not commonly
no electric
known.
bill. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm trying to raise the standard of everybody. Like, I don't want people. I had a wholesaler bring me a house the other day, and he was like, Sam, you're going to love this house. I want you to buy it. And it's like, they're already doing co-living in it. I was like, cool. And dude, I walked into that house and it was like curtains over all the doors, no real doors, nasty, stunk, looked like the place had never been cleaned once. I mean, just think of like rooming or boarding house. Ugh, nasty. Like, we stay so far away from those terms because it's not really what we do, right? We're like,
sure,
we're working professional housing. These homes are specifically designed for this. I mean, granted, we're rehabbing them to this model, but that's what we're doing. You know, it's just a different ball game, you know, than we're doing. So there's ways to do it professionally. And a hack for anybody who wants to go into a smaller city, a hack is before you go buy a house and convert it to co-living, run some ads, run some test ads. Call them fake ads if you want to. I know I get some bad feedback for even suggestions, but run some ads out there that are like test ads, fake ads, whatever, you know, beta test ads where you just put a room out for rent. Don't put the address, put some pictures, get some pictures from me of a co-living house and just run it at 3 different price points. You have 3 different ads out there. Run it on Facebook Marketplace from your personal profile and just see how many hits you get.
Yeah.
You get 0 hits in a week. Like, either A, it's the terrible place, nobody wants a room in that area, or B, you're just way overpriced. So you charge a lower price point and an even lower one. And usually people find a sweet spot on price. Like, you know, my guess is that if you put a room up in your city, even Marty, and it was $250 for a room, like at some price point, there's demand for a room, right?
Yeah,
so
for sure.
It's like, you just got to figure out, okay, what's that? How much is my property and how much, you know, heck, I mean, you just gave me some great example of buying potentially 9 rooms for $210,000. I mean, you might be able to still cash flow at $200, $300 a room. And you could have, I mean, it's crazy. We'll put an ad out there for $1,100 and crickets. We put an ad out there for $850. 200 replies in the first 24 hours. Like, this is a affordable housing price dependent market. Sometimes it's not like you're not getting that person that's like, well, I'm just waiting for the perfect location or the perfect pictures. No, you're looking for someone who needs housing at a certain price. And I just need, like, it's price.
Yeah.
So price and speed of moving, how fast can they move in, you know, is usually a lot of times what we see. So those are some things to think about, and it's kind of a hack for testing a market. And then if you get too low and you're like, man, I can't even make money at this price point, then yeah, it's a terrible market. Move on to a different market. But I don't know, even like towns like Asheville, North Carolina, or some of these other towns that are smaller, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, these towns that are just like, they're small, they're not huge, but they're expensive. Any of these tourist towns, anywhere in Colorado.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Just wanted to thank you guys for listening to the end. In closing, I just wanted to add that if this message resonates with you, if it aligns with your values and something in it today triggered something, then you can also look me up on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube. We are really trying to help people live more intentional lives, to kill the complacency with which they have subscribed to. I know there's many ways which I get sucked in all the time. So if this is beneficial, follow me there.